everyone, Amber here. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I wanted to quickly share with you guys how I made these really cute kite embellishments. So some of you may be familiar with these kite embellishments. I got these from Michael's a couple of years ago. I think they are by Recollections, if I'm not mistaken. And I just thought they were adorable and they were such a cute little accent piece to include on projects. But I haven't been able to find them to purchase them again, and I only have a couple left, so I thought I would try to make my own. So that is where the inspiration for these came from. So what you will need to make these little kites, they're super simple to make. They do take a little bit of time, but that's just to kind of put everything together. So what you're going to need is 2 toothpicks per kite, some twine or string to add the little tail. Mine is white and gold twine from Joann's. It was in their $2 section. You're going to need some scrap paper. So I like to use 2 different patterns or colors because as you can see in this one by Michael's, it's two-toned and it just looks really cute that way, I think. You're also going to need some foam tape or mounting tape. These are little foam squares that I got from Joann's, again in the $2 spot. And then if you want to decorate your kites, as you can see here, I added a gold glitter butterfly and a little bow at the tail. You're going to need a punch. This is by Fiskars, and I think I got it at Michael's a few years back. And then for the bow, I am using this Fiskars one. It's called the Heart and Bow Punch. So I just punch out the heart, because you kind of have to, and the little bow piece. I don't use this tail piece here, but the little tiny bow. And then I used just some gold glitter paper to wrap around the bow. So that is pretty much everything you're going to need besides scissors. And you're going to want some sharp scissors because we do have to cut the toothpicks. And they are wood, so it's going to take some sharp scissors to do that. Mine are by Fiskars. I got them at Joann's recently. And then if you want to add a cute little closure back here to hide where you hot glued the twine, then you can just use a circle punch. So let's go ahead and get into how to make this. So the first thing you're going to want is a piece of scrap paper that can fit a little cross shape that is about this size. So perfect project to use up all your scraps. Next, you are going to take one of your toothpicks and you're just going to cut off each little point. So you should end up with, and I'm estimating here, about 1.5 inches or so left over. So these little pieces are going to shoot off into random spots around the room, so make sure you kind of find those afterwards. So once the points are cut off, you should have something that looks like this, and this is going to be the centerpiece. And then for the 2 side pieces, you want about 1/2 inch. So I'm just going to cut off the point and then just kind of guesstimate what 1/2 inch might be and cut 2 of those. Alright, so then you should have your 2 little center pieces, you know, the little arms of the cross, and then the middle piece. So what you want to do first is take your paper that you're going to use as the back of the kite, and you're going to add some hot glue just along the piece of the wood and then glue it down. And you just want to make sure that you have enough room on either side for each of your little arms. So you don't have to use a lot of hot glue because it does kind of squish out from under it, and it might make it look not as finished. You might be able to see that kind of happened on here, and I tried to just kind of pick as much as I could of it off once it dried, but unless you look really closely you don't see it too much, so it's nothing to worry about. So now once you have your middle piece glued down, you want to add some hot glue. I like to do it for the paper for the little arms just because it's easier that way since these are tiny to work with. So I'm just going to take my hot glue gun and just, you want to, when you're gluing these down, you want to make sure that there's more room on the bottom, a larger triangle on the bottom, so you kind of want to put the arms more up towards the top. So I'm just going to guesstimate, it doesn't have to be completely perfect, and I'm just going to add a teeny little strip of hot glue. Take one of my arms and make sure that it's secured down and that it's straight, and then that will dry super quick. My hot glue gun is so stringy. I got it when I was in a pinch and just really needed one, and it was a few dollars for Michael's, and it's awful. So, okay, so now that this one arm is done, we're going to do the other side. So I'm just going to flip the paper over, and since this one is already down, I can just use that as a guide. All right. And now you will see you just have basically a cross on some paper. So now to get the kite shape, you want to take your scissors and you're basically gonna cut edge to edge so that you get a diagonal. So for instance, I just cut from the bottom here to the outer edge here, and then you just do that all the way around. So you end up with that kind of diamond shape. So I'm just going to trim this to make that easier to do. So just kind of line up your scissors, and then as best you can keep it straight and just cut. So you have something that looks like this. And then do the same for the next side. And just all the way around. So then you should have something that looks like this, super quick. So you can totally leave your kite like this, add some twine, just keep it simple if you want to. That's totally fine. So totally an option. I just like to kind of decorate it up more. And I think adding these little other color pieces on foam tape gives it more dimension and just a bit more character. So totally up to you and what you're looking for your project. So you can leave it here, or you can take it a step further and decorate. So if you want to do that, I'm going to show you now how I do that. So you're going to need 2 corners from any pattern piece of paper that you want to use. So I'm just going to use this scrap bow paper from the Bloom paper pad. And you want to, for the top corner, you're going to just cut with the paper facing you. So, and then you'll line it up and then later trim it down. For the next side, you want to flip the paper over, and then you want to cut a longer triangle, one that is more narrow and longer since this piece here is bigger. And then we are just going to line those up and trim them down so that they will fit nicely into those little spaces. So I'm just going to do one at a time. So I'm going to take this and push it into the corner as best I can. flip it over and then cut as best I can just to keep it nice, neat, and straight, and just cut the excess off. So you'll have something like this. I'm going to set that one aside and do the same to this corner. Alright, so when you put it in, you can see that that's what it's going to kind of look like once we adhere it down. So you can totally hot glue it and just keep it like this, but like I said, I like the dimension, so I'm going to use foam tape to prop it up a little bit. So I'm just going to take this foam square and put it to where it won't be seen once this is flipped over. Remove the backing and then try to keep it as straight as I can. And secure it down. So I'm going to do the same for this one. And then once again, just line it up and secure it down. So I already think that that looks so much more fun. And now just to decorate it up a bit more, I have a little punched out gold glitter paper butterfly, and I'm just going to fold this in half and add hot glue to the back center of it so that when I place it down, the wings will kind of go upward and it could look like it's flying. So that's just to give it a bit more decoration as well. And I just like to put that on this little bottom piece and then kind of fluff out the wings a bit. So now for the tail. So you can use string, twine, a whole bunch of thread, wad it up, and then trim it so it's kind of like a tassel kite. I think that would be cute. I'm just using, like I said, the gold and white twine. And I'm just going to cut a piece off, and then if I have to trim it down later, I can. So I'm going to take my little circle punch just to hide the hot glue, and that is where I will put like a foam square for like if I want to adhere this to a project, just to keep it all nice. So I'm going to add a circle of hot glue here. Take my twine or string, put the punched out circle over it, and then hold it down until it dries, and be careful not to burn yourself. So you have something that looks like this, and this is held in place now. So now if it's time to trim, we are going to. So I'm just going to use one I made before as kind of like a guide for that. And I think if I just trim it to here, that would be good. And now I already made my little bow off camera for the tail here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue to this. You don't need too much. And then you are just going to adhere that down. And I like to leave a little bit of space at the bottom of the tail. I just think that looks cute. You can add multiple bows if you want. You can add punched out hearts or like punched out butterflies along the tail if you want to. I think pretty much anything would make a cute decoration. So that is how you make these super cute little kite embellishments. I think that they are really fun, and I can't wait to use them in my projects, as well as package them up in like a really cute little goodie bag to send to some pals. And I think these would work with any kind of theme. I think I might try to make some for Halloween and fall. So if you would like to see those, be sure to keep an eye on my Instagram, which I will leave linked down below in the description box. Also, if you decide to make these embellishments, I would love to see. So feel free to tag me on Instagram so I can check those out. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Take care and happy crafting. Bye!